I know they're desperate, but I don't think they're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. It's not going to save them, even if they did, which I don't think they will, but it still wouldn't get people going back to Marvel movies, especially not after the Marvels. I saw it tonight. It was absolutely atrocious. They are absolutely lost. You hear that Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie coming out in 2024. 3 other movies got delayed to 2025. Didn't hear that, but that's great news. Finally give people a break. I had to decline my friend inviting me to watch the Marvels. You saved yourself 150 minutes of agony. That movie is atrocious. It's not fun bad. There's not a single redeeming thing about it other than Miss Marvel being a good character. It's worthless. I don't know why they even put it out in the current state. Was it worse than Shazam 2? Yes. It was somehow less coherent than Shazam 2 as well. I think R-rated Blade will help refresh the MCU. Maybe. It can't be as bad as Eternals, right? It is. You see Deadpool 3 and Blade rated R. Deadpool I know would be R, but yeah. Someone mentioned Blade was R earlier. I think the only thing that can save Marvel is if they bring in District 8 Medic. I wasn't a medic, I was a hospital helper. At least get my title correct. But you're right, that might revitalize the MCU. They made a whole fucking series around, well, I guess it wasn't all around him, but it had that guy, what's his name, Colin? Fuck, I forgot him. From Avengers. They could do that for me. Take me from the Hunger Games multiverse. Is it worse than Morbius? No. It's not worse than Morbius. But it is somehow a messier movie than Morbius. I'm telling you, it is not a cohesive movie that's printed. It's terrible. Do you think the best thing Marvel could do right now is just slow the release to focus on quality, or do you think the lack of direction is the driving factor? It's 100% just the lack of direction. Even if they stop... Okay, let's say there were no Marvel movies or shows that came out this year. The Marvels dropping would still be an abomination. It would still be terrible. Because they don't have direction. They don't have anyone at the helm even bothering to give an iota of a fuck about the property that they're making a movie on. Like, they're making movies that don't make sense. It's not the quantity. I mean, the quantity doesn't help with them pumping out so many, it makes people fatigued. But, like, it's the actual individual films themselves that have become very bad. Plus, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a banger. And that was still in a sea of other Marvel properties. It really is just individually, these movies on their own for the most part are shitty. Aside from rare cases like Guardians 3. James Gunn built different. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. James Gunn, he does good work. He really does. He clearly had a lot of passion there. And speaking of James Gunn, just in case you didn't know, he was also behind this Coyote vs. Acme, which has just been shelved. So, unlucky. They wouldn't even bet on a James Gunn. This isn't surprising, but IGN gave the Marvels an 8. I actually watched that review, because I heard they had given it an 8 out of 10, and I just don't know what they watched. I listened to that review, and I am convinced the reviewer didn't watch it. They just went in with an assumption of what the movie was going to be, and they rated it based on that, and nothing else. Because everything they describe in that review is not present in the movie. It's just not. It's not there. It somehow has an 85% audience score, which means nothing. I've said this 1,000 times. I don't think the audience score or anything on Rotten Tomatoes matters at all. It's sometimes fun to just look around at, but it means nothing. It's either super fans to try and boost or super haters to try and plummet, and nothing in between. There's just no real value from it. Thoughts on Jennifer Gardner coming back for Elektra? Is she really? Oh my god, what a fucking throwback. Is that real? This is from like the golden age of trash superhero movies. Elektra. Oh my lord. Where are you seeing these rumors? Oh, Deadpool 3 rumors. Sounds great to me. Man, this and Daredevil. Bad movies, like objectively speaking, of course. But there's something special about that era. Kind of like Daredevil from 03. It's a bad movie. Like, it's not a good movie. If you go back and watch it, it's pretty bad. But I liked it at the time, too. It was just a special era where some of the biggest dog shit movies were some of the most memorable as a kid. My shitty childhood was Zoom Academy for Superheroes. I saw that in theaters. That movie is awful. I hated it back then, too. It was so bad. You're talking about Tim Allen's Zoom, right? This came out during, like, the Sky High craze. This shit is atrocious. I didn't know anyone could like this movie. That movie is so fucking good. It is not! It was bad even for its time. It was a horrible movie. I don't know if it's fun bad. I haven't watched it since I was a young boy. Maybe it's fun bad. You watched the Ghostbusters trailer? No, I totally forgot about it. I just have no interest in it, unfortunately. What's it called again? Frozen something? Frozen Empire. I don't know, I just can't even pretend to be interested in it. Ghostbusters is a franchise that it's just not getting any tender love and care, unfortunately. I wish it would, though. Loved Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 growing up. A lot of people didn't like the sequel, but I did. I still fucking quote, Zool, God, well, it's been a while since I quoted it now. Are you the Keymaster? I am Zool. What was the... Oh my god, that's not it. What the fuck was the order? And then she starts levitating above the bed. The fuck is it? Now I can't remember. Well, that's gonna make me upset. Loved it, though. Watched it all the time when I was a kid. Ghostbusters Afterlife was pretty good. Which one's that? I don't even remember this one coming out. How many goddamn Ghostbusters movies they make? This was 2021. Yeah, I never saw it. I had no idea it was even a movie. Do you remember the female Ghostbusters? I didn't watch it, but I do remember it. You see that Warner Bros. Put another movie in the vault for a $30 million tax write-off? Yeah, those goddamn scoundrels. I saw that. It was for the Wile E. Coyote movie. Which apparently was really good. The Coyote vs. Acme. A live-action and animation hybrid featuring the Looney Tunes and starring John Cena. So the movie was done, and they shelved it because they got a $30 million tax write-off for it, which is so crazy. Why? Why do that? They should be punished for it. You made the film and refused to release it in order to just collect a $30 million check? You shouldn't be rewarded for that. It seems so counterintuitive. They lost 40 mil on this then. Yeah, but like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's already done. It was doing well. Animated movies are always at least somewhat powerful in the box office, especially the good ones. They have legs. I just don't see why they wouldn't release it. I really don't get it. Batgirl I can kind of understand with superhero fatigue, even though they took a fucking fat loss on that. They probably would be better off just releasing it. But I can somewhat rationalize it because superhero movies are struggling. But not animated movies, and certainly not good ones. You watching Loki Season 2? No. I liked Loki Season 1 and then just couldn't even be bothered to start Season 2. Hope it's good, though. I marveled out. Will you moist meter Loki Season 2? I haven't even watched it. I just haven't been motivated enough to watch it. It's just so hard to get excited for Marvel, even though I think Loki Season 2 is probably going to be good. I like the first season. It's just, overall Marvel's just lost my interest. Wouldn't be surprised if someone saw Looney Tunes back in action, saw how that flopped, and didn't want another flop like that. I guess. But it was such a different time back then in the box office. Why did you give Marvels a 25 when it deserved like a 10? I think you guys are a little confused on the Moist Meter rankings. Let's go into the 10% ballpark. 10% ballpark means it just barely exists in a functional state. So 2% is the lowest I ever gave, and that was to Gene Rain. And the only reason it's a 2% instead of a 0 is because the game turns on and you can play it. 5% is the lowest I've ever given to a movie, and that was reserved for Wish Upon, which to date is still one of the stupidest films ever written. And then moving on to 10%, I think 10% is what I gave Birth of the Dragon, which was an absolutely insulting Bruce Lee film the WWE pumped out that actually just made him the villain of his own movie, and it was insultingly awful. So, while the Marvels is bad, it's not to that level yet. It's not at that level. There are still a couple of decent moments in the movie. Can Marvel ever make a comeback? Yeah, they absolutely can. It's just going to take a lot of effort.